story. You ever feel like you're in the wilderness? As we go through this story this morning, we all are on a journey from Egypt to Canaan, personally. And we go through the wilderness. But the wilderness is just the beginning of the story. But it's not the guiding theme for the Exodus people. It wasn't the guiding theme for the Jews and the Israelites then, was it? And it shouldn't be our guiding theme today. We may go through the wilderness. Because we find ourselves in the wilderness does not make it our home. The Israelites were not children of the wilderness. They, like us, were children of Eden and the New Jerusalem, the first and last dwelling places of Scripture. Scripture starts out with Eden, doesn't it, as our home, and ends with the New Jerusalem as our home. So what a challenge not to allow today's environment, today's culture, today's surroundings dictate our disposition and identity. The Israelites did not remember what happened before the wilderness. What happened before the wilderness? You had 10 plagues that descended upon Egypt, and they didn't receive any of them after the first 3. They were witness to what God had done for them, but they forgot. They came to the wilderness with a history. They had a history, didn't they? We all have a history. Prior to the journey, God had spared their lives, and as an entire community, they had celebrated Passover in God's protection. You find that in Exodus 12. Part of their history was the fact that their parents and grandparents spoke of God's deliverance. Joseph was so sure of the deliverance. You remember, he told them when he was dying, when God comes and visits you and delivers you, take my bones with you. I want to be buried finally in the promised land. So this is part of their history of parents, grandparents, and so on who knew and had faith that God would come and deliver them and free them. They had forgotten one of the key divine statements found so often in Exodus, chapters 12 through 15. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. That phrase occurs many, many times. It's a statement of who God is. He's the Lord our God. And what He promises to bring us out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery.